Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some relationship stories. If you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And just a quick shout out to some recent members who've joined recently. I'm a bit behind on it, so please forgive me. And we'll start off with Tara Claiborne, Runaway from Toads, Alexandra, Ellie Oranen, Marie, Carlos Abreu, Sleeping Bee, and Lady Sinako. More to come in future vids, but let's dive straight in to today's first story. Much love, guys. And today's first story comes from this girl is on a wire who says, I 26 female opened my husband's 32 male Snapchat and it was a very explicit picture and a caption from a girl. He's sitting not 20 feet from me and I don't know how to handle this. Well, the title kind of says it all. Throwaway because my husband is active on Reddit. He's probably on it now. Here goes. I've been with my husband for 5 years, married for 1.5. I've never once doubted his fidelity. He's great, super smart, funny, handsome, and I thought loyal. He's never given me reason to doubt him or be suspicious. I thought it was kind of odd when he downloaded Snapchat. He's not big on social media. I have one, but I'm not very active. We rarely snap each other. He said his friends were really active and he liked it better than Facebook. So as I said, I've never had any reason not to trust him. So I thought nothing of it. This morning, my husband was in the shower and left his phone on my nightstand. I was half asleep when his phone started chirping and woke me up. We both have the same phone and ringtone for text messages. Not knowing that he'd put his phone on my nightstand for whatever reason, I thought it was my phone in my half asleep state. Despite his black phone case, mine is green. I didn't even notice and I looked at who had texted. It said mum. Okay, my mum texted me. I can ignore that until I'm actually awake. But under that was a Snapchat notification. A snap from someone named Roxy. I was like, who the F is Roxy and why is she Snapchatting me? I opened it and bam, it's a picture of a pussy. And not the meowing kind with 4 legs and a tail. The caption said, I want your tongue inside me again. Now I immediately thought it was a mistake, but I was alert now after being woken by a vulva. I pretty quickly realized that this was my husband's phone. I felt like I was going to crap the bed and started to sweat. I looked at his contacts on Snapchat and she has a yellow heart next to her name. I looked up what the fuck that means and it means they are best friends. What the fuck? I feel like I'm going to be sick. I didn't do any other snooping because honestly, I know what I'll find. I just don't understand how he could do this. We are happy. I thought we were happy. We have sex at least 4 times a week. Here's the real kicker, Reddit. I'm almost 12 weeks pregnant with our first child. He's sitting in the recliner about 20 feet from me and I just can't find the words to confront him. How do I say what I need to say? There is no way I am somehow overreacting or misreading the situation, is there? I'm heartbroken and don't know what to do. Dragon Girl says, I will never know how you restrained yourself and didn't chuck the phone at his head. Kudos. TB Div says, did I catch you in time? Please go to chumplady.com and prepare yourself. Your husband is cheating and he's going to pull the standard cheater crap on you unless you arm yourself first. Edit. Right, you don't know what he'll do. Minimizing. Blaming you for his choice to cheat. Outright lies. Rewriting the marital history that he was always unhappy. News to you, I bet, and things like that. I had a friend recommend an infidelity site when my ex told me that he had friends. I did not check it out. He ran roughshod over my shattered heart as a result. You want to get all your evidence gathered before you confront him. If you feel you need to puke, you are pregnant, so use that. You can back up his phone and restore all texts, etc. I recommend you do that before you confront him. Buy the software if things really go south and you want to see what the fuck he has been up to. And finally, hugs. I'm so sad that every time I see a post like this, I recall my own broken heart. And I believe the actual subreddit Surviving Infidelity is also another good source as well. Drunken Lima says, if you want to surprise him with the divorce papers and stuff and want to make sure he doesn't get time to prepare and he's an avid Redditor, I would delete this post so he doesn't find it. It's already a top post, so there's a chance he'll end up seeing it. So now we're going to move on to the first update. First and foremost, thank you all for your love and support. I feel it from here. Honestly, thank you. It's amazing to me that strangers care so much about my baby and me. Love back to all of you. So husband knows something is up. I don't know if he saw that I opened a Snapchat from Roxy and is afraid of what I saw and afraid to bring it up, or if he's clueless and can just tell I'm upset about something. He's been asking me if I'm okay or if something is wrong about every hour. I told him my sister was having a hard time today. Ironically, she just broke up with her boyfriend. Why? He cheated, and I was going to go over to her place for dinner. I live in a Pacific time zone, and to spend the night with her. I'm here now. My sister is 20 and a whiz at the social media thing. She stalked his Facebook to see if this Roxy person popped up anywhere. She looked through his friends and bingo, we found her. Well, at least pretty sure. I didn't see her face in the Snapchat. The screen was too full of her crotch. She's Facebook friends with my husband's good friend. She's listed as a receptionist at my husband's friend's law firm. My husband works a couple of blocks from the law firm and he stops by often to grab lunch with his friend. That would explain how they met. Still formulating a plan on confrontation, trying to get as much information as possible first. My sister wants to burn his life to the ground, and honestly I do too, but I'm going to address this in the most adult way possible so that I can walk away from him with my head held high and be a deserving role model to my baby girl. Not sure it's a girl, just a feeling. Good news, my uncle is a lawyer. Most of what he deals with are divorces. I've already contacted him and asked if we could discuss some potential legal issues. Didn't specify what yet, feels like something I should do in person during our meeting. I told him it was urgent. We are meeting tomorrow morning. I will try to update as much as I can, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you all again, internet strangers. And we're going to move on straight to the next update. Again, I am overwhelmed by the support and love I've received from everyone. It feels great to be comforted and cheered on by you all. Thank you so much. So, husband cheated. He has been maybe 2 weeks before last Christmas, according to him. I was very calm when confronting him and took the advice many of you gave me by telling him that he needs to explain to me who Roxy is and why she is his best friend on Snapchat. His face gave him away immediately, but he still tried to lie to me at first. He said that she works with his friend and they met when his friend invited her out to lunch with the two of them. At first, he claimed he only met her about 2 months ago. He said that they are best friends because he doesn't receive many Snapchats from others and she is extremely active on the app. He said she just sends randoms and is really into fitness, so she sends a lot of inspirational snaps on being healthy and living a better life. He said that every once in a while he'll send her something back, like a picture of a cheeseburger or something, just to tease her about her level of health consciousness. First, I asked why he just didn't tell me about her. He said he didn't even think about it because she's just an acquaintance, not even a friend. Then I asked if he'd ever received anything even remotely inappropriate from her. He answered with, not on purpose. I'm assuming he went with that because he knew that I opened the Snapchat and he probably knew it was a bad one. I asked what not on purpose means. He got very defensive, started raising his voice and saying he doesn't need to explain what that means, that sometimes people accidentally send the wrong Snapchats to the wrong people. Then he had the nerve to say something along the lines of, I feel like I'm on trial here. People warned me that you'd get crazy when you were pregnant, but I never thought it'd be this bad. Now, as some of you mentioned in my last post, it seems amazing that I'm able to keep such a level head. That is because I was raised by a mother who always told me that you never accomplish anything with anger, that you can be emotional, passionate, upset, etc. without ever raising your voice. Messages received quietly and concisely are just as loud as clear as messages received through yelling and screaming. That is how I've lived my life for 26 years, with the exception of just a few blow-ups. I am human. This moment was an exception. I didn't exactly yell and scream, but I became furious. For him to try and blame this on me being pregnant, how unoriginal and offensive. Long story short, he said he'd never seen me this crazy, and I told him that I'd never seen a picture of another girl's pussy on my husband's Snapchat before. He came back with that I shouldn't have looked at his Snapchat. I came back with that it was an accident, but even if it hadn't been, there shouldn't been any reason he's receiving Snapchats like that for me to see, accidentally or not, in the first place. I told him that I may be pregnant, but I'm also an intelligent person, and I am his wife. So I knew he was lying and I deserved to know the truth. I asked if I could see his text messages to see if he's been texting Roxy. He said sure. No messages. Then I asked to see his Facebook messages. He looked like a kid caught with his hand in a cookie jar. He told me no. I asked why. He finally broke and started to cry. Told me he couldn't let me see the messages because they would hurt me, because they were inappropriate. Then it all came out. They screwed in the backseat of a car the first night they met. This is already long, so I'll spare you all the details, but it's been an ongoing affair for months. No, they did not always use protection. Although I was recently screened for STIs, I'll be getting checked again in light of this information. My uncle already assured me that if he was unfaithful, we would cream him in court. Really the only thing I'm willing to fight him tooth and nail for is our home. I put a lot of effort and money into making this home my dream space. I won't be seeking spousal support, but I will seek child support. I'm obviously heartbroken and told him to go and stay in a hotel or with Roxy for all I cared. One confronted him last night. My mum and sister stayed with me last night and let me sob all over them for hours. Right now I'm sort of numb, but I'm also thinking very clearly. I know what my next 10 moves are, and I feel supported and secure in my decision to leave him and keep my baby. A few things I wanted to clarify. My husband is not a lawyer. His good friend is. There was some concern for my success in court if my husband is a lawyer. His friend is in environmental law, so while I'm sure he can provide some advice, he will not be my husband's divorce lawyer. There were suggestions of me terminating my pregnancy. I fully support the right to choose, and I would probably terminate the pregnancy if I was in a different financial position and lacked a support system. However, I work as a marketing manager for a large company. Not only does this allow me the privilege of working from home about 50% of the time, but it also grants me financial independence. I do not rely on my husband for money, and I really never have. He works in tech, so while he makes a good salary, I will have no need for spousal support. I have a phenomenal support system. This baby will be loved so dearly by so many. Yes, I will have to deal with my husband for the rest of my life if I have this child, and it will make future relationships for me more difficult, but it is worth it. I've wanted this baby since day one, and I am her mother, which means that I am strong enough to raise her alone because I have to be strong enough. Here's hoping for a speedy divorce. I'm ready to be done with this marriage, which is crazy because just a few days ago I thought my life was as close to perfect as you could get. And one more update. I know it's only been a short time since I posted this update, but I need to tell you all how amazing all of you are. Wow, this much support is just wow. I wish I could reply to all of your comments and messages because of the volume. I'm just going to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who read my posts, who commented, thought of me, wished my baby and me the best, messaged me, and anything else. I'm currently at my parents' condo, sitting outside their pool, sunbathing my little baby bump, and reading each and every one of your amazing and empowering comments. I just want you all to have that image, that you have made me happy and content in a time when I am short on both. This is proof that love does exist, even if it doesn't within my now over relationship, and that is a powerful thing. Love to you all. Me again. I was going to post more details on what happened during the confrontation with my husband, etc., but then I decided against it. I should keep some details private. It's likely my husband has seen this post. I will leave you with this. My dad and I were up late last night talking. As usual, he had the perfect thing to say to me. He told me that weak people are afraid of strong people. He told me to keep on terrifying the weak ones. That way, the only people that won't fear you are the bravest, strongest of people, and those are the people who are worthy of you. Then he said my husband is a spineless turd who couldn't kick it with the strongest women in the world. Just thought I'd leave you with that and encourage everyone to be terrifying by being strong and not standing for nonsense. This is the last I will post on the matter. I have a lot ahead of me with everything and will probably go quiet on Reddit for a while. Time to get ready for court and to be terrifying. Thank you, and thank you again. Love to you all and best wishes. Love, T. And wow, what an attitude OP has. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. Absolutely amazing. And I was just sitting here thinking about what I can say about OP, and right in front of me there's this comment from Queen Cheetah who says, I'm so happy that she has the means to support herself and her kiddo. Every time I read, I think my husband cheated on me and I'm pregnant and have kids, my stomach drops. While it's sad that the original poster had to go through this, I'm sure that brighter days are ahead for someone with such a strong will and a dedicated heart. And that says it better than I could ever have. And one more comment from that post as well, because the positivity that OP gives after everything they've been through, I think is absolutely fantastic. And this one's from Medic Kitten, who says, I've been thinking of you since I saw the original post a few days ago. It broke my heart to hear this. You deserve 1,000 times better than a man like him. You've handled the entire thing with utter grace by the sound of things. I, for one, could not keep my cool, especially if I had pregnancy hormones whizzing around my body. I am floored by your measured response and strength to leave someone who quite clearly doesn't deserve you. That is true strength. Your child is lucky to have such a strong mother and a role model. All the best for the future. You deserve happiness. And that last bit there is absolutely true. OP does deserve happiness. But now I'm going to turn it to you guys to see what you guys think of this situation. And if you was in OP's shoes, how would you feel? And I do feel bad sometimes reading these stories when I know some of you guys have already been through this. So I hate to bring up these bad memories for you. So I do apologize for that. But as always, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this story if you choose to share them. And what do you think about OP's attitude as well? Absolutely amazing. And let's move on to the next story. Now, our next story is a bit of a different relationship story. It's about two brothers and one is suing the other. And it's from Whoop23, who says, "My son stole a rare toy from my brother. My brother is refusing to take it back and is threatening to get the police involved. What do I do?" And it does follow with an update. "Right now, my brother is threatening to sue me for my son taking a figure from his collection and getting the police involved. Here is the story. Last week, my brother invited me and my family over for dinner. While we were there, my son asked to see my brother's collection of toys and figures. My brother has spent a good deal of money on his collection, and from what I know, it's one of his biggest hobbies. Well, after dinner, we left and everything seemed normal. Well, until yesterday. My brother called me up furiously and told me my little shit stole something from his collection and I needed to return it immediately. I honestly was upset at this, but if my son had taken something, that was wrong, especially if it was from my own brother. Well, it turns out my son slipped away during dinner and took a Boba Fett figure from his collection. Please don't be that one, the rocket one. He confirmed it because he has footage from his porch camera of him taking it out to our car. I was furious and took it from him. Here is the problem though. After I confirmed with my brother it was his, I found out that my son had removed it from its packaging. Apparently the figure is worth almost $2,000 in its package and almost nothing out of it. So my brother broke down over the phone and refused to take it back before hanging up. Well, he just called me again today and said he wanted me to pay for a replacement immediately or he will get the police involved and sue me. I told him I would help pay for one but not fully, to which he said not good enough and hung up. Honestly, what are my options here? I can't afford to pay him back right now. If he does go to the police, will my son get arrested? He's only 15. It was very wrong of him to do it, but I think my brother is overreacting. What can I expect if he does take me to court or call the police? God blimey, it wasn't the Boba Fett I was thinking of. I think the one that I'm thinking of was worth over $100,000 or more at this point. I don't know. I saw it on one of these collection programs, one of the trash programs I watch, and it was an insane amount. The rocket firing Boba Fett. And let's start off by saying this guy's 15 and he's stealing from people. That's not a good sign, but your brother deserves the full amount. You may consider it a toy, but these collections are worth a lot of money, and that's the point of keeping them in their boxes, is so that they're worth their full value. So I'll be very surprised when we go down to the comments if they disagree with that there. But Overstrewn says, "I am not a lawyer, but can confirm that some of the figures do cost that much to replace. Your brother has every right to the full value of his item, whether it's in court or not. Your son did the wrong thing and should work hard to make it right. Returning what is now worthless is not the same. Would your brother and son be open to signing a payment agreement over a couple of years for the full value? My kid would be out getting a job to pay for this, but with working hour restrictions, it can take time to earn that much cash." The question 757 says, "While it may seem silly to you, as it's a toy, he's quite correct that toys still in the box are worth a lot more. While finances may be tough, your son damaged his property and he can get back the value from that. Your best bet is to work out a payment system with him. Additionally, you can always try to find a replacement at a cheaper price. Also, if money is tight, I suggest you get your son to work and start paying this off." Copper John says, "While first reading this, I assumed you were talking about an actual kid, not a 15-year-old. Yes, your son can be arrested, and yes, could be liable for the $2,000. Why do you think the brother is overreacting? Would you feel any different had your son stole $2,000 in cash?" OP replied saying, "I completely understand why he's mad. His property was stolen, but we're family. Oh no. And I think it's a little overboard to threaten to call the police on your nephew." So, update. So I never honestly expected the post I made to get where it did. I also never expected the barrage of support and hate. I will say these past 48 hours have been a ride, and that post has not helped in any way. So why am I back? Well, because I feel like I need to be. I'm not here to give some apology to a bunch of internet strangers for how I acted or seek validation. I'm here because I feel that for myself I need to admit my own wrongs and move on to a better place. So I want to talk about something first before I get into the update. Many people who responded talked about how me or my brother in a bad light, and with how I reacted in the comments, it didn't help the situation. I was also hit pretty hard for how I was not taking my brother into consideration when talking about the issue. To give some context for this, me and my brother have never had a good relationship. We have never seen eye to eye, and after our father's death, he cut contact with me for a good amount of time. We're just different in some senses. He's a single nerdy guy who has no aspiration for family, while I'm the exact opposite. In these past few years, we've tried to fix this, work as adults, to bring what little family we have back together. During our time apart, he began collecting old nerdy things, and I won't lie, I never understood the appeal. It is his life though, and he can do what he wants. So, when my son stole and damaged his property, I didn't see how it was valuable to him and discounted it. So when he asked for $2,000 to fix it, I really didn't feel like it was worth it. Was this wrong of me? Maybe. I don't feel bad about defending my son. I only feel bad that I discounted my brother in the process. Sorry about that. Like I said, I don't want sympathy. I only wrote that out to allow myself to be true about the situation. Back to the update. So after all was said and done, my family had pretty much been thrown into chaos. I had no idea what I was going to do, and after talking with my wife, we decided we would take many of your advice and have my son pay him back. We collected all the non-essentials he had and planned to sell them to raise funds. During this time, I got back into contact with my brother and wanted to talk this out and make sure this did not end badly. I offered to pay in full. Also, some people in the comments said that the figure was worth less, so I asked him. He had it professionally valued a few months ago when he bought it, and it was worth a total of $2,200. My brother said he plans to not sue us. His renter's insurance apparently is willing to pay him the value he has listed, but he would need to file a police report to get it. At first we agreed not to go that route and simply pay him the value of it, or one for a replacement if he could get it cheaper. This was the plan until last night. During the process of taking his things away, my wife found a conversation he had with a friend he has over the internet. It turns out my son stole the figure to sell. He had googled it while we were at my brother's house and found out how much it was worth and bragged to a friend that he was going to sell it at a pawn shop. He didn't realize that taking out the package would ruin it, so he ripped it out to hide it in the car better. Suffice to say, I am not happy about this. I won't elaborate on this very much more, and me and my wife have decided that what's best for us all is that we let him face the consequences of this. My brother is going to file a police report and collect money from insurance. Some say this is a bit harsh, but honestly, I think this might be for the best in the end. The way my son actively stole from family to make profit worries me. I believe the only option that I can live with myself making is this. I will stand by my son till the end, but he needs to learn now before he is an adult. So thank you for all the advice, the support and hate are what I needed as a true wake-up call. Like I said, I don't need pity. I'm doing this so I can be true to myself and maybe become a better parent in the end. Wow. Bit of a turnaround in that one, but what do you guys make of this story? What if you was OP in this and you found your child made a plan to steal an item from family and sell it like that? Stealing an item anyway is bad enough, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in the channel. The likes, subscribes, everything you do is absolutely amazing. Your love and support is incredible. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.